Safety's off, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just cock it back.
Jesus.
Whammy!
All right, we're off to a bang. Hey, welcome everybody. Rod Thunderheart is just joining momentarily. And welcome to Suzanne Eckstein and Eugene Bird. And I have a feeling my volume looks a little loud. So forgive me, chat. Let me adjust that down a bit. All right, that looks better. Okay. Hello, Eugene Bird. Welcome to you. Setting high expectations, Eugene. No pressure. And Rod is just getting ready. Let me know, that volume might be a little too. Hey, thanks, Suzanne Eckstein, for sharing that stream. Rod and I are going to be, having some discussions. We love discussing culture. Usually goes international, and with Rod, there's always flair. Hello, Rod.
Hey, sorry about that. I logged on and then I went on the Stark Tower link, and then I'm like, hey, wait, where's the StreamYard? And then I'm like, oh shit, there's something wrong.
It's in your private message, yeah. And let me know if my volume is too loud. I'm trying to be a little quiet here in the house, so I turned my volume up. So let me know if that's too loud. And welcome, Rod. How have you been, man? Welcome.
That's perfect. Well, now I'm jobless. So.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a wide open opportunity. Hello, Miskatonic Madman.
I'll be honest. I didn't really like that job. I mean, I did. It paid very good. When it paid very good, it paid very good. But
right.
See, just prior to that, I worked at a place called Nisky Dispatch, and it was a local freight company. And so little, it literally only had like one truck. I had two. Technically, it had three trucks, and then ultimately, and one of them was an 8-ton crane. One of them was a what do you call it? Winch truck, and then. Actually, the third one also was a winch truck. It was a Mack. But I mean, ultimately, when they had to rebuild the Mack completely, had to give it a complete new motor after me having driven it for only 2 months when I started.
Oh no!
Yeah,
well, that sounds cheap. Oh, that sounds cheap. I'm sure.
Yeah, and then
hi, Tiger Stripes. Hello, welcome, Tiger Stripes.
Miskatonic Badman, Suzanne.
Hi, Miskatonic. Suzanne is here. Yeah.
Yeah. No, anyway,
if you didn't like the job, then you've got all kinds of opportunities, right? When life shuts one door, it opens 6 windows.
That's the thing. My buddy actually, and that's actually what my buddy said too. That I worked with him with Exalta Transport. There was a line haul from Edmonton, big loop all the way down to Vagina, Saskatchewan, and Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and then all the way back. And big loop all the way down through Alberta, Calgary, down to Lethbridge, and then out to Saskatchewan. And then a big loop out there, and then back up to the, and then just back up to the. Back up to Edmonton.
That sounds like beautiful. Anyway, you get to see the country.
Oh, it was great. That was actually I think that's probably one of my best trucking jobs. My buddy Murray was the line haul driver though. I was still just getting used to trucking. I mean, like I prior to them, I'd worked for Leduc Truck Service, and they were just a real dog and cat show as far as trucking goes. And so ultimately, I anyway, like like they let me go. I remember scraping a 5-ton truck along a crane and West Coast crane and the side of a truck, my truck, like the 5-ton. And then ultimately they just like, Rod, we gotta let you go. Rod, we need to clear out some dead wood around here, and you're the only thing floating. So I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm just kind of like, whatever. I didn't like, I didn't like that job either, you know. And then I found a job just 25 minutes away on the south end of Edmonton, Exalted Transport. And oh my God, what a fantastic job. First they kind of got me started in a 5-ton, but towards the end of the day, they started give me trucking jobs. And the other thing too was that their trucks were automatic. The first time, this is 2010. So I'm like, wait, these are automatic? No way. And actually, yeah, I was there for about a year and a half. And then unfortunately, they sold out to Manitoulin Transport. And I don't know, to a degree, I can't blame them. But I mean, like the boss at Exalta, he just simply wanted to retire. He's like, "Fuck it, I want to retire." And then, which was great. But I mean, like all of us drivers are just kind of, well, what the hell are we supposed to do now? And then, you know. But I did got a lot.
Yeah.
I did get I did get a lot of experience with them. And then I
Oh,
wound up working.
thanks, Miskatonic.
Yeah. And then I did wind up working for. After that, I went to Leduc Co-op and drove. Well, first I drove fuel truck for for about a month and a half, and then they.
Hello, Daniel's Hot Topics.
Yeah, hey Daniel's Hot Topics.
A fuel truck. Well, that sounds like exciting. A little bit dangerous.
Yeah.
Specialized training for that.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really that much. Really, I only had. I mean, like as a driver, you already kind of know how to handle dangerous goods, and because that was in my
all right
Cameron drivers and school, and but it was only a like it didn't have a didn't well they did have a pup, but like the truck I was using just it was just a straight up automatic, and
right.
Okay, yeah, and that was good for a while, but then all of a sudden Christmas after Christmas, like just into the new year of 2012, my dad passed away, and then like.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny too, because I remember the very first night, remember the last time I talked to him, and it's weird because I was like it's like he subconsciously knew this was going to be the last time he talked to me. And to be honest, if I'd have known, I'd have actually stayed out at my parents', which is where I'm staying now. Because Dad just kept he kept talking to me about like just the most inane things, and I'm like, Dad, this is not you. We don't, you don't usually make small talk, but like, Dad, I mean, he's a farm, grew up on the farm, and then like when he got lost his limbs and meningitis, he did manage to get his limbs back, managed to get them back, and like he managed to function.
Oh, geez, I thought you meant they had to amputate them, Rod. Holy crap! Choose your words carefully, buddy. Holy crap!
Which technically, yes and no.
Because he lost function, but he gained it back. Okay, good.
No.
Oh.
He had to have prosthetics put on.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, you did mean that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
all right.
yeah. Yeah, I guess I probably could have been more clear too.
Sorry,
guys.
Yeah. Okay. I'm also very confused too.
Yeah. And, we actually ultimately wound up, I'm saying this on the live stream. We actually wound up suing,
You don't have to, man.
suing the doctor. Oh, no, I don't mind. I mean, because I didn't have to sign it. I didn't have to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
No.
But
Yeah.
really, it was only just mom and dad were the immediate ones. But we sued the doctor for malpractice, and it took 10 damn years. But at least dad died with the comfort that the doctor would have to, pay my dad.
Okay, so that was before he passed away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he found out literally. I remember him saying at the beginning of December, he was just kind of like, we got a notice from the lawyer, and then he was kind of like, they're just gonna wait until I die, and then like I could feel his disappointment, But then at the beginning of just before Christmas, I think it was, just before Christmas, we got a notice, from the lawyer. Hey, they settled. So. And then of course settling means like non-disclosure agreement and all that.
Yes, yeah.
And but he got several million out of it. But I know obviously most of it went to the lawyers.
At what cost? I mean, geez,
Yeah, no kidding. And like he didn't even get to enjoy it because like he should have been able to. And he did manage to go. He went traveling and all.
Well, okay. Yeah. Now let's please that if you have I love culture, love international stuff. Where did you go traveling, and were you able to go with him for any part of
that? No, I didn't. Mom and dad. Well, no. Well, you know how it is. Parents are retired, so what do? They go vacationing. They went driving by motorhome all the way out to. They actually went out to your old country, PEI.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And the Maritimes.
Seafood, mussels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they went down to.
That.
Yeah.
Sorry, Daniel.
They went up to Alaska. They went up to, and then they went down to Arizona, where,
wow.
Dad's parents had long passed away, but still went down.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. That's a beautiful thing to do when you retire. Yeah. I'd like to do that with my RV. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, like I said, then I got on with Nitsky Dispatch. They let me go in 2015, 3 years later, during the oil crash. We all remember that, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have friends that have lost. A lot of things in Alberta.
Yeah.
During that.
Yeah, so I was on unemployment for almost actually I was on unemployment only for I was on unemployment for almost a year, but then I actually did nail a job down because and during this time, that was when the first time right when we got laid off. I got laid off, my brother got laid off. We went to Cuba for the first time.
Ooh, okay.
And that's actually where that was the time that I sent those pictures to you on that's where we actually went to we were at Veradero, Breezes of Veradero.
Yes,
I think it's called Cactus.
Yes.
It's called Cactus something now. And one of the local guys in our resort, he was just kind of like, hey man, there's a pirate cave bar not far away. Like, what? No way, let's go. So we did. And those are the pictures I sent you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And anyway, I worked for Terra Nova. Basically, they just ran decks up to Fort McMurray, and then because if you remember in 2016, they were running decks up there right after the big fire. Remember that?
What do you mean running decks?
Oh, like decks of machinery, like flat decks. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I mean, like
I worked in
like
the gold mine.
flat
We didn't
decks.
have decks. Oh, flat decks. Okay, flat deck
Yeah,
trucks. Yeah,
flat
okay,
decks
yeah,
with
yeah.
flat decks with lots of oil equipment and machinery,
Okay,
and there was just like a whole like crap ton, like about I don't know about 100 acres of like
nice.
trailers everywhere, and like they gave me a really sweet. That's in my pictures actually. I'll have to send that to you. They
Yeah.
gave me a really sweet peak too, and like I couldn't believe it. The guy who hired me, Terra Nova, he was
Mhm.
just like, I, this is how most people should hire a truck driver. And but like he looked at my resume, and then like he looked at my abstract, and then he just asked me a couple of questions, literally like I think only like two questions. No, how far you been up there? I was like, oh, I haven't really been too far.
Have you been past the Arctic Circle, Rod?
No, Fort McMurray is probably Fort Mackay.
Not far off, is it?
Fort Mackay is 6 hours north of Edmonton.
That's pretty. Yeah, okay. That's pretty. That's up there. That's pretty damn far north. I know I was a
Yeah,
couple hours outside of the Arctic Circle when I was in the Yukon. Beautiful
actually no,
northern lights. Have you seen
yeah,
northern lights up in that area? Man, beautiful,
oh
gorgeous.
yeah.
Have you seen?
I
I've
did.
never seen purple though. Have you seen purple northern lights?
Yeah, I have.
You have? Oh man,
I've
I
seen
haven't seen the
all.
purple.
Oh well, see, I'm actually where I am, and this is what I want to do. I mean, like a few years down the road, I want to convert this house and make it into an Airbnb, and I want to turn this place into a
Hello.
night sky staring place.
Oh, I love staring at the night sky, bro. Maya
Oh
Grimm, hello, welcome to you. Hi.
yeah,
Do you have you? I mean, I've studied astronomy, not astrology. I don't believe in astrology, but
yeah,
astronomy, because I've always been looking up at the stars all my life,
yeah,
and just I mean, I studied it just casually
yeah. Me too.
as an amateur. I love it, and I
Yeah,
looked up at the stars everywhere on everywhere I've gone on the southern hemisphere. I know how
wow.
to find the Southern Cross. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
And I know how to find the southern. I know how to find the Southern Star using the Southern Cross. See, have you seen the Southern Cross, or do you know what it looks like? That?
Yeah, it's a diamond.
Yeah, like and the
Mhm.
cross, it's like on a kite, the traditional kite.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what.
So one
Like the
arm
cross is
is
on a kite.
right. So one arm is longer, right? Like one
Yeah.
is longer between the two stars. So the perpendicular bisector of that long arm, so like the midpoint and perpendicular, you go out from that perpendicular and you go that way, and towards south, and you'll hit the brightest star will be not far off, will be the Southern
Yeah.
Star, and
How's it
it's
going,
something
guys? By
like
the way, I just
five
want to say
times.
hi
Yeah,
to the chat.
amazing.
I don't want to. I don't want to sound like I'm ignoring the chat. Sorry, people.
Hi, hello, hey, Taylor Swift, Matt G.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift
Greater
greater
than.
than Disney Star Wars. Oh, go
Hey,
ahead.
we got 8 people. Holy crap!
MCU
Nice.
and Doctor Who. Hello. I love looking up at the stars. That's a great idea. Would it cost a lot of money to get going? I
I
mean,
don't think it would. Yeah, well,
right?
the biggest thing is, like it's just, I mean, I'd think I don't know. I'd probably have to look at it, but I mean, like, I think it's Mayerthorpe, or I don't know, but there's maybe it's Thorhild, but there's a town out east, East Alberta, and they have done exactly that. They're not too. I don't think they're too far from Vulcan, but anyway, they have a thing that the lights are automatically dimmed 50% so that people can appreciate the night sky.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That maybe that is Vulcan. Yeah. Man, I've never really seen any huge northern lights. Just, I mean, about half the sky was covered up in the Yukon when I worked there, and
oh
I
man,
saw, I saw green, of course, and but but not the purples. And so you've seen all the colors of the northern lights.
oh yeah, oh man,
Neat.
I've had them just like storming. I mean, I've
Yeah.
actually, I mean, like they where I am, I mean, they were actually loud. You can actually hear them. How do you like
can
that?
hear them. That's right. You can hear the electromagnetic crackle in the. You absolutely can, especially if you're in an isolated place, because chances are wherever you're going to be seeing them, it's going to be isolated and not a lot of noise. Like I was in a remote mining camp that the machinery was miles away. So at the camp where I was in charge of the maintenance, the camp itself was quiet. And I grew up I'd go up on the roof or something. I had access to the roof ladders as the maintenance guy, and I'd go up on the roof. And so you're above all the lights that the courtyard lights, around the site. So you're above them. And man, I could see and you can hear the northern lights. You can hear them. But I never saw the burgundies. So what colors are like? I saw the yellow and greens. What other colors are there, Rod, that you see?
Oh, green. Oh man, it's like colors of the rainbow, man. Just like and like
yellow,
I even know about this. I did some reading up on it, and the native tribes way back when they always they believed that the Northern Lights when they appeared, that first of all that was a message, and which is also why whenever you hear when you actually hear the Northern Lights, that's the native tribes actually believed that was those were spirits that had passed on, and they're trying to talk to you.
Whoa!
And
wow!
And what else to say? Because it's also a legend for like for when when people pass on, like that's a window to the other side. Yeah. Cardinal said, yeah, good for him.
Cheers to you, Gil.
Yeah.
Okanagan apple cider or peach cider, actually. Okanagan peach cider. Cheers, Gil.
Cheers, Gil. Yeah, and
that's how come I never learned that when I studied in anthropology in university. I studied Pacific Northwest peoples, and I never learned that about the Northern Lights. But I do know where I grew up on the East Coast with the Maliseet peoples and the Micmacs. I swear there was legends about the North, and they don't happen that often in New Brunswick. But I swear they had stories, legends there as well. Colorful stories that are passed down. Yeah.
I'll have to look it up again because I know there's also stories as to why wolves howl at the Northern Lights too. Like there's a specific reason too.
Man, I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear that from a cultural. And William Shakespeare, do you mind reading this, please?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. William Shakespeare, Mr. Wrench. Hail, everyone! Just found out you guys went live. I'll be in the back of I'll be in the back as the orchestra section doing paperwork. Right on.
Thanks for being here. Yeah, well, we streamed together last Monday night, Ponderings, and it just happened at the last hour or so.
Yeah.
We finally nailed down a time, so I just got in the door myself, Rod. So that's perfect. Thanks for being here. And
we got off track. Well, we went from when my dad died, and then and again, that's another thing. I mean, like, again, he was talking about the stuff that he would not talk about. He wouldn't talk about because it didn't make sense. And if I had really listened, I probably would have spent the night because I knew that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I knew. I mean, like, I would have sat back and because I feel really bad about myself. I should have picked up on it. I mean, because like, wait, Dad, why are you saying this? And then I probably,
yeah, but how old were you? I mean, you're not the age you are now. You're not as experienced.
It was only 12 years later, 12 years ago. So like 41. But that's not it. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, the thing of it is I'm usually pretty intuitive in that I can pick stuff up like that. And yeah, and then the other thing too is, I mean, if I knew I would have seen it was the last time I was going to see him, I definitely would have spent the night. And
Yeah.
Anyway, and here's another interesting thing. My dad, when I was busy back home when my sister calls me at like 9:30, I think it was, and she said that dad had an episode, but he's in the hospital. He should be okay. It was really all my brain kind of sort of half heard. I didn't even really, And then in my little tiny one room apartment, I woke up and then sudden, or I thought I woke up, but like I got out of bed and then suddenly I could see a big light from the front door, and it was Dad. And he looked like, I mean, Dad died when he was 62, and when I saw his spirit, he looked 25, 30 maybe, and he had like that
Whoa.
50s. He had that 50s farmer crew cut,
Right.
and
Of course.
he was smiling, and he said to me that he wanted me to make sure that to tell Shirley. Well, first he wanted to say that. Well, when he was when he passed, he was trying to gasp words out. Mom thought she heard them, but she didn't quite make it out. And he said, "Tell Shirley that uh, that he loves her." But then, like he said, oh, actually no, he said, "Thank you to Shirley for loving me, and thank you to God for taking his pain away." Which also was a very interesting thing because Dad always has been an atheist, and
Right.
I mean, we have a religious vet who was Dad's best friend, and he always tried to get Dad to go to church. And for a while they did after my sister got married in '86 and '87. And like we weren't religious.
Mm.
We weren't religiously going.
No, but it
We
was a
were.
social
I mean,
thing, of course.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We went there, and and then but then Dad dropped out of it again, and so that's a thing. And then like Dad also said to me that you know, make you would you deliver that message? And I was like, sure, yeah. And then I said, he said, oh, and I left something for you, and I was like, what? He said, he looked at me and gave a turned his head halfways, and he kind of gave me a smile, and he said, you'll just know. And then all of a sudden, I woke up, and then suddenly I heard my cell phone had finished recharging. And damn it, I really wish I'd have could have taken knew how to take screen caps back then. I didn't, but I woke up and like I heard my phone. It was charging on the charging off the stove, and and then I heard it ding. It stopped. And I was like, oh, okay, and walked up, and then and then I unplugged it. And I looked at it, or first I noticed the clock on the stove read 11:06, but I looked at my phone and it read 3:16.
No.
You know what that means, right? It's a
Mm,
Bible
ooh,
quote.
it is. I
Luke
don't know what it is, but yes, I recognize it.
Luke 3:16. For God so loved the world, he gave his one and only begotten Son. And that was Dad's message to me that that he'd forgiven God. See, I know I remember Dad's stories. He always told me he was mad at Grandpa for being a drunk.
Oh,
Grandpa was never like, but the thing of it is, Grandpa's a Swede, typical Swede. So like he was never an angry drunk. Never. He was, he was just really just more clumsy, happy drunk,
mhm.
really. Just
Yeah.
that's it.
I could. Yep, I can
Yeah.
identify with that. Yes,
Yeah. So
totally identify with that.
yeah. And then I remember Dad telling me the stories where like Grandpa would be calling from the Camrose bar, and he'd call, and then Dad would pick up the phone at like 2:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning, something like that. And then he'd have to take the truck and drive in. And Dad was 12 years old back then.
Wow. You might have told Cardinal Sin and I that once. Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah,
sounds familiar, Matt. Yeah.
yeah, and then I think Dad got upset with heroes because he as a kid he'd always looked up to Grandpa as his hero, and because I once asked him,
Mhm.
"Who's your hero?" Well, I don't really have any. He said, "But if I ever did, it would be Grandpa." You know, and I noticed he gave the abler "if I ever did," and uh, and then anyway, I thought about it and I realized, okay, Dad lost his faith in God because of Grandpa, because he was mad at Grandpa
Mhm.
for, you know, and
Right.
like, yeah, and then like when they got back to the farm, Grandpa would stuff $5 in Dad's pocket, which, back then that's like giving him like
Yeah.
50, $60
Right.
today. Yeah, at least probably even $100 actually, because like I mean pennies still could buy shit.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Anyways, speeding up. Um, yeah, so like that was that's the story of Dad passing away, and then and then like I took my morning time off of from co-op for Dad, and then and then some reason I just couldn't go back to co-op. I liked it because like after the fuel truck, they moved me over into the wood yard. And then I got a lot more fun. I had a lot more fun doing delivering wood too, because like it had the hitchhiker forklift.
Oh, I don't know what
Yeah.
that is.
Well,
Oh, it's the forklift that hangs on the back, off the back of the truck. Looks like it's gonna fall off, like
you
way
got
at the back of the already humongous long truck.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome. That looks super dangerous.
Yeah, no, but it was neat because it added more skills to my trucking
A hitchhiker
trucking.
forklift. Cool.
Yeah.
How do they get it
And
off the back of the truck?
well, basically you drive forward and then like you lift the forks up and then you slide the forks into these slots in the back of the on the back of
Pockets,
the
steel pockets, if you will. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then since since you're using the forklift anyway, you lift the forklift up, and then right, and then
So
there's
normally you'd lift the forks up, but since the forks are jammed into this huge truck, instead of lowering the forks, it raises the forklift.
that's right,
Wow, that's
and then
cool.
you and then
Hydraulics
you
are awesome, man. I love hydraulics.
yeah, and
Fluid
then you
hyd
take
fluid
you
physics
take
is
these two chains that are usually they're fastened on the back of the truck, and then you just fasten them onto like the forklift, and
mm,
then you also plug in the lights because then
yeah.
the forklift lights become your truck lights.
Whoa, that's such a because you need lights, of course, for
Yeah,
braking.
and it's pretty neat. I mean, like the
But that's
forklift
cool.
itself wasn't really actually very heavy, but it
Right.
was fun.
All right. Well, tonight we're talking about Aurora Borealis and forklifts, hitchhiker forklifts specifically. Do you mind reading this from Kivan
That's right.
6? And thank you for joining
Oh,
us.
Kevin 6, you're absolutely right. Yes, that's Rod Thunderheart. I heard from my great great grandmother that the reason wolves howl at the auroras is because they feel the spirits of their ancestors running along the path of the light and sky. Absolutely. So yeah, remember I said it's a window to the other side. It's temporary.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder what I wonder I wonder what nationality is or he or she's. I can't see the avatar that well. I think it's a he. I heard. I wonder what nationality his great grandmother was, or what the nationality where those stories came from. Maybe she heard it from a neighbor that was from a different place.
Well, we'll highlight this. William Shakespeare says, "Hope no one has asked me anything." I had a call come in about 10 minutes ago. Just saying. No, I kind of blundered on with my story, and then totally ignoring the chat. Sorry, chat.
No. That
But
was a fantastic.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
pretty well.
yeah. So anyway, let's fast forward to okay. So that's how Dad died, and all it. Mom is still around, and then like my sister's put her in a home, and then so I'm actually just looking after the house here,
Right.
and also, according to my sister, because mom actually had put all the money into a trust account for me, and reportedly, and here's the other interesting thing. This kind of annoyed me. I'm the only one in the entire family. I mean, my brother got his mortgage paid off, and then mom was going to will it back to him, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, she never got the will. Never got the will rewritten. My oldest sister and her hubby, they asked for mom and dad to pay off their farm mortgage way back in 2009, and then my oldest sister, or sorry, my second oldest sister, she's handicapped, like cerebral CP. She pulled a really dirty one because, well, first off, her condo was built on a marsh, and then the condo started to sink, and then of
Oh,
course yeah, so that actually wound up costing several hundred, probably several $100 million to have to redo the whole thing.
that
And
would be such. Yeah.
in the meantime, yeah, and this was shortly after Dad died, and then Marlene, she threatened to sue Mom for if Mom didn't give her inheritance, her full inheritance.
Damn.
And then Mom's like, "Ugh, okay," and then Mom really made a boner move, and since Marlene didn't have any stake in the thing, Mom made her executor of the will. She shouldn't have. She shouldn't have. Ugh. In fact, I always think that executors should be somebody completely neutral to the family. You know,
Well, that's what I thought they were too. Yeah.
they're supposed to be, but well, no, my sister, no, because you see, my sister, she turned around since Mom's name was on my brother's house. My sister kicked him out. Just approached him and get this, he's in the middle. He's still in the middle of two hernia operations, and because he'd fallen and tore his hernia, and then and then he even was going through blood treatments because it was and then his uh anyway, and then Marlene approached him, kicked him out of the house, and sold the house out from under him. So though he's living on the farm here with me, still in between his two hernia operations with a poop bag, and I
Mm.
know he's not real happy. And then also my doctor who took care of my belly button hernia.
Hernias are
I
bad,
recommend,
man. Apparently, they're not
yeah,
good.
yeah, I recommended that doctor to my brother, and then he looked at my brother, and he was kind of like, "You don't need a poop bag, or at least you shouldn't have one." And then this all should have been taken care of in that one operation. So like my brother couldn't been kicked. My sister couldn't pick a better time to kick my brother when he was down. I'm sorry, guys. I'm unloading all this
No, no,
garbage.
no. But do you? It's good that you're spending time together, right? On the farm. Farms are great.
Yeah,
I love living in the country. It's spiritual. It's man.
that's
I
why I
love
love
the
my
country.
morning runs. I love my morning runs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's something very spiritual about living
yeah,
in the country and being out in nature. If you take the time to
yeah.
get off YouTube and actually go out, go out and see. That's why I haven't. See, Rod, I'm sorry, I haven't. I meant to message you yesterday, but I
No, that's
haven't been
okay. I
on
mean,
YouTube much the last couple of days because it's firewood season. We get firewood now. It dries. We split it. It dries all the summer, and then we
oh
burn it
no.
in the winter. So, I'm not one of these people that goes in October to go get it.
Well,
So,
yeah. Well, no, that's the worst part.
out in
Oh, and
nature,
then the other
man.
thing too.
Out in nature.
Yeah, then it also has all summer to dry.
Exactly. Do you mind reading this from Kevan 6? Talking about his avatar.
Yeah, it's a Cheshire cat in a top hat. My great grandmother are on my dad's side were Cherokee, and my mom's was Scotch English or Scotch Irish. Bleh.
Yeah, there's a
A
little bit of a
redhead with
difference there. Don't call them English.
redhead with a tan. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
An American Heinz mutt
Wow.
and happy Heinz 57 mutt.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Yeah, Scotch Irish here too,
Yeah.
but with a little bit of German too.
Yeah.
Good on you. I love cats. Cheshire cats with it is a top hat. So it is. I love cats.
So
I love hats. Perfect.
so anyway, speeding up now. After I didn't get after my second Cuba trip to trip to Cuba, and I loved my second trip because my first trip was fun, but I mean, I did all the touristy things, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then like and like we paid for the tour and then all this other jazz and like um I mean we did do something spontaneous which wasn't on the tour, and that was, like I said, we toured the pirate caves.
That is
uh,
so cool.
yeah, the pirate cave
Caves.
bar. Yeah, and then also
That's awesome.
I'll swear to God that there was still some stagnant energy in there, and by stagnant I'm talking like quite possibly ghosts. I bet Cardinal Sin would have loved to hear this. In fact, I bet he's here right now.
Did you ever talk to him about it? Because we
Uh,
spent hours and hours
you know what I want to
blathering
do?
on with him about all kinds of things like this.
Yeah. It's funny too. It's funny too. We look back on his streams, and it's just kind of like, I just realized that like the amount of alcohol that he was consuming was probably tempering his pain in the very same way that the alcohol tempers my brother's own pain on his.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is not for pain. This is for pleasure.
Guilt.
Okanagan Peach, right? Local, hard cider.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I said, I went back to Niski Dispatch, and like, they know me and everything.
Sorry, Rod.
Yeah.
Rod. More about the energy in the pirate bar, the pirate cave bar. Sorry, you didn't. I don't think you finished, but you sounded like you had more to say about that.
Yeah, you're right. I did.
Fucking pirate cave, man. Energy. Come on, ghosts.
Yeah, because I never really noticed while we were there, but like, because if you look, they even had like a show, another sort of, well, it wasn't nearly as cool as the Tropicana show, but it was still a good show. And
is this near Havana, in Cuba?
That was in Veradero.
Veradero, okay, yeah, a couple hours, a few hours, yeah, okay,
yeah, and anyway, I never noticed
energy. It. Yeah.
But then, see, after the show was done, then they kind of opened the stage up to just the stage is super huge. As you can see, so basically it was the dance floor, and my brother and I were just sitting there talking and all that, and then all of a sudden he made a disparaging remark, and then at the time I was still
disparaging. Your brother did.
Yeah, to me, because I'm still a chemtrails. I'm still kind of like, there's something's going on up there that because partly cloudy used to be nice puffy clouds, and now partly cloudy is great big long monster cloud. It's not normal. I don't think. Anyway, he made a disparaging remark about me and my belief in chemtrails, and I just found it interesting too that there were still good, nice, clear clouds, cloudy skies in Cuba, but I mean they weren't nearly as bad or polluted as in Canada. So, but anyway, that led into an argument, and then suddenly we just realized we both, we both got snippy with each other, and then finally I just kind of ugh, and I just got up and walked out of the bar. And then suddenly I got outside the bar and suddenly nice fresh air and everything. And then suddenly I realized there was some energy in there, because that couldn't have, I don't think that was, I mean, that's not normal for us,
Did you talk to him about it?
Well, no, because he came outside too, and he was in a few minutes later, and then he was just kind of like, yeah, sorry, yeah, and then he just kind of, the bar just wasn't fun anymore. That particular bar, and so
was that a realization after? Did you realize it might have been the negative energy afterwards, sometime, or was it right then at the moment?
Oh, that was right at the moment when I'm like sitting there and I'm just kind of breathing the fresh air, and I'm kind of like, my head cleared, and I'm like, wow, I think there was something in there because there was some weird energy or something. And then I was just kind of like, and then that's when my brother came out, and he was just kind of like, he was kind of sort of apologetic too. He was like, well, yeah, I don't know what, hey, fermented cinema. Yeah.
Yeah,
DJ
hello,
Planners.
Fermented Simina, and we're in a pirate cave bar in near Veradero in Cuba, on the I want to say the north coast, Cuba, I guess.
About half, because I think Veradero is still a good 4 or 5, maybe even 6 hours from Havana. Because I know, because like when we went to the Tropicana, okay, no, maybe it's only 2 hours. Because like,
Yeah,
well, the
I thought it was
Tropicana,
only maybe three, could have
yeah,
been three.
because the Tropicana Club,
Hello, Jim.
the
Jim
show
Clancy.
finished at, well, the show finished at 3, or sorry, at like 11, about midnight.
Midnight, yeah, and we got back at like 3 in the morning, something like
Yeah,
that.
that's right. We got back at 3 in the morning. So
Yeah,
then, like, yeah. So
yeah. Different times,
um,
different buses for those watching. Yeah, we have done it at separate years. We weren't together on the bus.
yeah,
Although that would have been cool, man. We should do that, and we
we
should
need
live
to.
stream.
We
I'd love
absolutely
to
need
do
to,
it.
brother.
I'd love to, man. Absolutely. We'll go
Yeah.
back to the pirate cave and get in a fight or something with each other.
Well, that's the funny thing too, because my brother told me that he actually said he was slightly apologetic, and he was just kind of like, kind of wish you were there. I was like, what? What do you mean? I was like, oh, we almost got it. Me and I think his name was Carlos, or
Mhm. Oh yeah.
no, he was a French guy, and yeah, him and Rob nearly got into a fight with a couple other people there, and then
Wow.
yeah, and then like they're like, man, wish you were there, and I'm just kind of like, oh man, you want to go in? And it was like, nah, they've all moved on. I'm like, oh, son of a. But like on the other side of the coin,
Cinda's grandmother has traveled there 3 or 4 times to Cuba. Fantastic. I'd go back. Yeah, I've spent 8 days there. I'd go back for sure. Absolutely.
oh man, well, and by the way, my second trip down there, um, and all we did was, if all we'd have done was just stayed at, because we went at the Hotel Atlantico, which is it's only like 20 minutes outside Havana, and
Okay.
because we found that for a smoking good deal, 1 week all inclusive, $534.
Wow. I paid $850, I think, including flights though. That was including flights, was $850.
Oh, that was $534, and that was with the flights.
What?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Did you have to pack all the bags on the plane or anything? Did you just sit in the toilet or what? Wow.
No, man, like no, and well, it was a who was it? Wasn't WestJet. The second one was, I
Oh,
think the second one was probably, it might have been Flair, or no, it was Sunwing.
Sunwing, yeah, I was going to say tropical Cuban destination or Caribbean destination would have been Sunwing, because they give you champagne as soon as you take off, because they know you're on vacation going to a tropical paradise. So you take off, and as soon as they level out, they start handing out champagne.
Yeah, that was totally
fantastic. Cool. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then
beautiful.
So yeah,
the girl I was with doesn't drink, so I grabbed hers. It was great.
Did you ride in any of the Russian cars, the Ladas? Taxis?
I'm not when I travel, I hoof it, man. I hoof it everywhere. I don't often take taxis unless it's a novelty thing like a tuk-tuk in Bangkok or something. But no, should I have? Maybe I should have.
Yeah, well, I mean, just then
Russian
you could say,
Lada. Well, there used to be Russian Lada. When I started driving in 1987, there were Ladas on the road still, like Russian. Someone spent their allowance on a Skoda.
Oh yeah, Buena Vista Club. Yeah, those. Yeah, I mean, like, it made me think of. I remember what was that movie with Dustin? Was it Dustin Hoffman? and
Oh,
all those
Mystic.
people in the
Oh, oh,
in the mental. They were in the mental
yeah, yeah,
hospital, but
yeah.
then like
Yes,
they came up with all these really good
with these
ideas
genius ideas. That is
for advertising. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and
and
because they were people in Japanese can build better electronics because they are smaller and their faces are closer to the circuit boards and their hands are smaller, so they can do tiny. Like it was totally
yeah. And
unpopular.
then
What was it? Was oh shit, that title escapes me, but I often it was like
yeah, I know. Man,
oh
I
damn it.
can see it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was with
I know
Keaton.
the
I think it
movie.
was with
So
Keaton
much,
too.
so funny. Yes,
Yeah,
so funny. And it turns out
yeah.
these people nailed it with the advertising because they were saying truthful things that
Well, like
that were not politically correct, but they nailed it. They were accurate.
yeah.
What was
I
that?
thought
It'll come to me.
buy
It'll come to me.
buy Volvos. They're boxy but good. And that was exactly what I thought about the Ladas. You know, buy Ladas.
They were
They're
boxy,
boxy
but good.
but good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good night. Good night, Jim's Landscape. Good night.
That's a
So,
good
Rob,
point, Keevan. Oh, good night. Yeah, good night, Jim Lansky.
there's a good
Yeah.
documentary about. Oh, yes.
As Keevan Six said, as my grandmother would tell me, sometimes the departed souls of others intercede to protect you from harm. Sounds like you got rescued from a bad situation by those who remained in the cave. I had mixed emotions on that because, like, you know, I mean, I'm a fairly sizable guy, so like, you know, I mean, like, I would have scared the living crap out of him.
Fairly
But then on the other
sizable.
hand,
That's an understatement, Rod.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
you're
I don't know.
over
She might be
6,
right. Yeah, you might be right, man.
6'3". Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's the whole
I
thing.
could stand on a milk crate and still look up to you, almost.
Yeah. But getting back to Niski Dispatch, when I got back from Cuba, I was just curious, and I kept in touch with one of the other drivers, and he said, I don't know, we're actually starting to pick up. Maybe you should check in. And like, so I did, and like, yeah, they rehired me. And then I was with Niski Dispatch until COVID, and then after
Yep.
COVID, um, I went with home. I managed to nail a home hardware job for 3 months, just under 3 months, and then you know how that goes. Sometimes you know you get 3 months. Sometimes like they only keep you on for like just under 3 months, and then
Just,
like they
yep. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah
100%. Yeah.
yeah. And then I got on with action. The thing that blew me away though was that Tyler he liked me immediately and he hired me on the spot. Like he just looked at my resume and then he looked at my abstract, which was clean, 5 years clean. And then he said, "You're hired. When can you start?" I was like, tomorrow? And he's like, "Sure, be here at 8." And like, whoa, okay. So, or actually be here at 9. I was like, cool. Or 8, well, 8, whatever. And
Sure.
I love when people like they hire you on the spot and like but
Yep.
the thing of it was
Yeah. I've had that happen too. Yeah.
yeah, the thing of it was I loved action, but I mean like it just was really just another Niski Dispatch, just slightly better equipment. And
Which makes a difference. Which does make a difference, I guess. Better equipment
but
is good.
yeah, but I would have loved to have just keep going for home hardware, or a job like that, I mean, because that's the other thing. I mean, home hardware. I was home every weekend, and then they also paid 3 times a month, or well, twice every 2 weeks. So I love that because, like, man,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's good.
yeah. But yeah, send some thoughts and prayers for me. I applied at it's a place called Pinch,
Yeah, I do.
and they it's basically the same thing, but the difference is I'm going into Edmonton picking up a load, and then I bring it back to the Pinch warehouse, and then they unload, and then I go in for more stuff and bring it back. Because see, what they are is they ship stuff down to Houston, and if I got my passport back, I might consider taking a load down there.
Yeah.
Assuming, of course, I
I've
got
never
the
been to.
job.
I don't think I've ever been to Texas. I haven't, and I would love to go. We have a lot of YouTube friends from Texas.
And
you know
yeah,
who you are.
Cookcock's down there.
I would love. Oh man, half of our YouTube friends are down in Texas. I would love to go there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. And barbecue. When I think Texas, barbecue instantly comes to mind.
Yeah, DJ Play Nice. There's a good documentary about Buena Vista Social Club. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, right. Yeah, absolutely. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, JPRPH.
Do you know what vowels are? Do you know what vowels are? There's A, and there's I, and there's E, and there's O, and there's U, and there's even sometimes Y.
I don't know. I talked to and those are just her initials. But she just decided that she didn't want any vowels in her YouTube name.
I know, John.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna ghost her name because I know it personally. So, but pretty name. But.
So Rod, I threw this picture up earlier, and it had to do with your parents. This one. Why does that have to do with your parents?
Oh well, of course, because they had they had that out in in the Maritimes.
Yeah, you said one of the trips after your was back up and going. Your mom and he spent the. Now, did I understand you right? Some of the lawsuit money, and they went and traveled to the Maritimes.
No, because they didn't get. Yeah, see, this is the damn stinky thing about it. Like we got the notice just before Christmas. Yeah, we got the notice just before Christmas, and then like, okay, hey, and Dad's like, hey, right on. I guess I won, But then, which meant then he could really go like flying around the world or wherever. But as I said, January 6th or January 8th, 2012. As I said, I mean, like I went home on weekends to hang out with them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I didn't always like being able to go home, or not being able to stay at home and work on my book, because sometimes there were some weekends I had like some ideas were just burning in me, and like I'm like, I want to get it on paper or get it on the computer. And anyway, like I said, I went home, and then like that's when Dad passed, and then like I forgot why I brought up. Because of he didn't get a. They didn't. The other
to go to the East Coast to eat
the other
delicious PEI mussels.
Yeah, and the other slimy thing was that the doctor's lawyers, since Dad passed, the doctor's lawyers are just kind of basically approached Mom like almost like Mr. Burns. Perhaps you might be inclined to ask for a smaller amount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because I think he was originally supposed to get like $5 million, or even $10 million, I think.
That's still though. That's a small, considering.
Oh no, it's a pittance, really, considering what he went through. I mean, like 10 years of walking with no limbs, and like, I mean, good for Dad. I remember the day that we brought Dad home after in the hospital, and like he was just in a wheelchair, and like didn't have his prosthetics on or anything. He was just and still just getting used to, okay, I don't have limbs. But I remember my brother-in-law and I brought him
Okay,
down
get
the
used to
stairs.
that, man. How do you get used to not having legs anymore? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dude, he's a stronger man than I am. Holy shit.
Yeah, everybody said that, but like, I like his story about it though, and that is he said, because he was thinking to himself, oh, why me, and all that sort of stuff, when he
Well,
was
of
in
course you
the
would.
Glen Rose rehabilitation place, and yeah, and then he saw a teenager, and this teen had he had one, he was missing one foot, not even half his leg, but like just 1 foot, and it was he still had a good chunk of his calf, and this teenager was acting like it was the end of the world, and then dad just kind of like dad was looking at him in the next bed, and he just like sitting there thinking, well, I mean, he was like, well, geez, I wish I was only missing a foot, and then like, and then that's when dad said he made the decision to turn around and start, you know to start working, working to rehabilitate himself, and he got his license back too.
Not feeling sorry for himself.
Yeah, and that was the
His
thing he
driving
said.
license.
Yeah, yeah. He had a driver's
Damn.
license. He had
Damn.
a.
Good
It
for
was
him.
originally a 3-post thing, but since his left hand had all the still had a palm, he had a device kind of sort of acted like a thumb, so he could like hold a beer in his
Yep.
in
Yep.
his left palm.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and then instead of the 3-post thing, all Dad did was just take a bolt and then put it in there, and then he used the palm to rotate the steering wheel, and then he had a
What?
left.
Those are illegal. You and I can't bolt one of those to our steering wheel. Those are illegal in Canada. You can't because you can do power turns.
Are
And
they?
stuff.
Are they?
Well, they
Because
used to be. They used to be in the 80s.
yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know
they
about
used
now.
to be because I noticed a lot of truckers have them.
Oh, really? The Zam.
Yep.
Oh, did I tell you that I just started driving a Zamboni a couple of weeks ago?
Oh
I
yeah.
got a
No,
job.
no.
I've been out of work since October, but I got it on purpose, voluntarily. But I got a job driving
Yeah.
Zamboni, and they've got one of those knobs. What are they? There's a name for those knobs that bolt onto the steering wheel, and you can do super quick power turns with it.
Oh yeah. No, that's right.
It's like what's it called? It's
Well, no, it's like a tractor.
Yeah,
The old
it's
tractor.
super useful. Yeah, because especially on a Zamboni, you got to turn a lot. That's all. All I do is
Yeah.
drive in circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, is that what you call them? Okay, DJ Play Nice says they're called spinners aren't illegal here either. Okay, yeah, but I guess if you're a person that doesn't have a
Yeah.
hand and that's what you're using, I don't think the cops are going to give you a hard time. They're probably not going to give you a hard time.
Yeah.
So he managed to get his driver's license back. That's amazing, man. He had I mean, that's pretty courageous, Rod. Really.
Everybody said that too, and then like and then like a lot of people, including my religious guy, said he sometimes sometimes you're being tested, and then like they oh yeah, I think it's like God only gives you what He thinks you can handle, and like the light basically just came down, and he and then he and then he started handling it, and then like he became very useful too, because like what he would do is like he had a truck outfitted, and then he basically just became driver for the family, for mom, and then sometimes me, because I didn't have a truck or a car at a time.
Wait a minute.
And then
The person
yeah,
with prosthetics became the driver for the family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that, eh?
Welcome to the modern world. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, if you're gonna conquer a problem, you might as well kick it in the balls.
Yeah. So
Good for him. In the Midwest U.S. Okay. I've never been in the
Yeah.
Midwest U.S. I'd love to. But you had a comment on barbecue. Speaking of this, I didn't know this. What's your opinion on this, Rod? I've never been to Texas or Kansas City. When I get too old to travel to places like Cambodia, because at 80 years old, I want to go. I do not want to be backpacking through Cambodia, or do I? Okay, but when I'm 90, I want to be going to places like Texas, because I can't go to those other places. So Texas and Oklahoma. What do you think about? I've heard of Kansas City barbecue. Have you?
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah, well, according to DJ Play Nice, Kansas City barbecues the best. Texas is just post oak smoked by tradition. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a fight in the chat over anyone from Texas.
Yeah.
Don't let anti-derivative Jill hear you.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, keep going down. Make sure we're up with the chat. Hello, welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great story, Rod. That's a great story.
Yeah,
so if he can do that, and if I can get a job as a fucking Zamboni driver, man, that's awesome. Part time. It's only a couple days a week.
Yeah.
But doors will open for you, man. Yeah, and
Thanks,
you're wide open. You can take a job. You know, if you.
As I said, I'm trying. Here's the thing. Remember, I told you I got into an accident, and I just basically just dozed and said, "Oh crap, I'm in the ditch,"
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then jackknifed the truck. I should have known. I mean, my buddy told me too. He said, because the boss said that he said, "Yeah, I'll pay the ticket," and he didn't. And then my buddy Murray told me, he was like, I should have told you that. No, they always say they're going to pay the ticket, but they never do. And I'm like, oh,
damn it.
So I still owe $162. Well, now 192. God damn it. For that, because like the cops, I didn't really do anything. You know, I just damaged my own equipment. You know, but then like the police were still kind of like, you know, like, well, we still got to give you a ticket for something. And then like,
what?
You know,
for what? Were you blocking?
I know.
Ambulances or something?
I basically just went into the ditch. That's all.
Were you on Parliament Hill in front of the Parliament buildings in Ottawa? Because they get excited about trucks parked in Ottawa on Parliament Hill. If you know it. I'm sorry, that was a joke.
Yeah.
Wow, Rod. But why the ticket if you damaged your own equipment and you're not blocking traffic?
Yeah. And here's the other thing. My load was tied. I know. And here's the other thing. The load was tied down so tight that I literally, jackknifed and went right into the ditch, and my load was still there.
So why the ticket?
Wow. Yeah. So anyway, I still had to take care of that. And then 2 days, a few days later, I was visiting my brother Don, and I bought him some groceries. And then it's right, middle winter, but like there was a construction site, and like driving past, and then I'm just kind of like just going 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, and then suddenly I'm like, and then I'm like, my brother Don texted me like, oh hey man, where are you? And I'm just kind of like, I just kind of voice tapped, be there in a couple, and then all of a sudden and then I look in the mirror, like red and blues, and I'm just kind of like, no fuck, and then like, and then he ticketed me, gave me the worst thing you can get, which actually according to my buddy Murray, he said it's actually worse than than a former impaired. Apparently, I say apparently.
Wow.
I'm not sure about that, but
distracted driving. Distracted driving.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Fermented sim that thinks you were in a fountain jackknifed in Parliament Hill, well, in Ottawa. That's why you got the ticket. You were nowhere near Ottawa, were you?
no.
Oh, I didn't know this. Okay, Keyvan 6, that makes sense. So the bolt-on ones, the power, the knobs, because sometimes they slip off, and that's why they're illegal. And then you lose control because you don't have your hand on the wheel. So most 18
sort of
makes come equipped with a
sort
spinner
of
knob
makes
built
sense.
into the steering wheel. It does. See, I thought the spinner knobs on the wheels were illegal because that way you can like outmaneuver the police because you can spin so fast. But that's not the case. It's sometimes they come loose, and then you don't. Yes, in the middle of a turn, you no longer have control of the steering wheel, of course, because your hand isn't on it. The knob is in your hand, and it's not connected to the wheel any longer.
And yet you can find them. I mean, one of the guys had like a joystick one, like a big handle like joystick, like video game joystick like size.
No way. Okay.
Yeah. And then my buddy Dean, he's got one, and yeah, that's exactly what it did. It slipped, and like
no joysticks are.
But I mean, like as long as you make sure it's tight, I actually like it. It's functional,
on the Zamboni, it's wicked because sometimes you drift the Zamboni to get tight in the corners. I'm not kidding. I've drifted the Zamboni a lot. It is so much fun. But you got to be careful because you don't want to scratch the ice because it's studded tires, right? And so if you spin tires with studded tires on a hockey rink, that's bad.
Oh,
really not good. Yeah, but that is absolutely true. You don't do that. But you don't want oh shit, what was I? Damn it. You want the spinning knobs. Yeah, that's amazing that because they can come off in your hand and then you get the knob in your hand and it's not bolted to the steering wheel anywhere. That's why they're illegal. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I guess you wouldn't make sure it was tight every time you got in the car.
Yeah.
Unless it was on the job site. It was part of the. There's things on the Zamboni we have to check every single time when we get on.
Yeah.
But if it's your personal car, you wouldn't do that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well. Send thoughts and prayers for me for my new job, and because
you said you applied for one though.
Yeah, them.
Awesome.
I said that pinch, and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing I really like about it, and I really want to work there. They pay once a week.
Wow, you don't have to budget.
Yeah, in other words, what I'm saying is, or once a week. They pay, once a week. Like they pay every week. In other words, is what I mean.
Nice. Brilliant.
Yeah, so like every Friday, it's every Friday.
Show me the money.
Yeah.
You got him. Oh, hey, John's giving you support. You got him.
Thanks,
prayers
man.
And thoughts from John,
Thanks,
at least. That's excellent. Yeah, no, if you know what, if you didn't like your previous job, Rod, I mean, back in the 80s in New Brunswick, you had to suck it up, Buttercup, because there might not have been a lot of other options.
That's options.
But right now, if you're a dude that is willing to do physical labor, or a girl, but girls generally don't like to do physical labor. No offense, but it's true. Then generally physical labor is done by dudes, and if you know how to do stuff mechanical, man, stuff that the AI and the robots haven't figured out how to do yet. You've got a lot of opportunity for employment there, Rod, especially with your experience. You've got 30 years experience in working with stuff, 30 some.
Well, here's the thing. I originally had I went in and I bought me since I'm applying now. I went and got a copy of my abstract, but which between those two tickets, one was 2 demerits, and then of course the distracted driving one was 3, so that was five demerits. But as I said, I took a professional driver improvement course, and there's a lot of information that I mean, like I just realized, man. I mean, I used to always take them every 2 years, and like I hadn't taken any since 2015 because I was going to do it in 2015, and then suddenly that's when they let me go, and I'm just going, well, no sense doing it now. And then and then the years went by, and then like and then I discovered too that they told me this at the well, all of us, the class, the teacher told us that he said, what you do is if you have no demerits, you hang the fuck onto this sheet of paper, and you wait until you do have demerits. As soon as you have demerits, present that piece of paper. Because if you have no demerits and then you have it put on your record, and you already have a clean abstract, it didn't do you any good. So wait until you have wait until you have demerits and then present them.
Makes sense. So I don't know what I mean, as a long haul driver, have you ever thought about doing the long haul destinations like down to California and things like that, or does that? I mean, seeing as a truck driver, seeing North America would be pretty part of the appeal, I would think.
I gotta admit though, like when I worked for Home Hardware, I really did love the road. I mean, like then they'd send me in
the freaking Rocky Mountains, the Rockies. Do you know people from Germany come and pay money to come and see the Rockies, and you're getting paid to drive through them?
Yeah, and then I went to Tumbler Ridge.
What's Tumbler Ridge? Ooh, I've heard of it. Is that
that's way up north? Resort? That's way up north. Like,
okay.
Like, actually, I just realized that is probably the furthest north I've been, and it was in BC too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I also delivered to not Prince George. What's that one? Prince Albert? That one that's way up north.
Yeah, that's not far from the well, that's not far from the Yukon border, is it? Not that far.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fermented Cinema has a good.
I just read that.
Yeah, being a truck driver in the winter. No bueno. Are you?
Actually, well, no. Are you kidding? Truck drivers have incredible heaters, man.
Those engines produce a lot of heat, eh? Except for the electric trucks, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
That was a joke. They can't make electric trucks to do that. Not in. Can you imagine an electric truck in Edmonton in the winter?
Yeah.
In minus 55 in Edmonton in the winter, an electric truck. Yeah. I don't think so. Too.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Hello, Susan Dolan. Hello, welcome. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome.
Jesus, we got 24 people in here. What the hell?
Hello. And yeah. Ooh, the female bricklayer. Now that is sexy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hi, Susan Dolan.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. In the wintertime, you must see some beautiful scenery, though, traveling through the Rockies in a truck.
Yeah, and too. Yeah, and I'm actually used to winter driving. My first winter was scary as fuck.
Yeah,
but
I've been off the road a few times. Excessive speed, black ice. Yes, my fault.
I'll tell you one of the best things you can that you should probably put in your car in winter, and that is kitty litter for traction. Traction.
Yep.
Clumpable kitty litter.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, if you're stranded and you have to pee in your car, kitty litter is easy to clean up.
Yeah.
Your brother fixes elevators. That is a good trade. Speaking of trades, for people, men or women who are handy with electronics and mechanical things, I have a cousin who's an elevator repair. Holy shit, Rod! He's in Edmonton. He works elevator repair in Edmonton. I'll DM you his name. You might know him. But yeah, do you know any McDonald's guys by the last name McDonald's? McDonald. Anyway, he fixes elevators and he's up there. So cheers to you, cousin. But yeah, that's a good trade. And yeah, fermented cinnamon. Says Tumbler Ridge is just south of Peace District in Alberta. Or no, in BC. In BC. My brother lived there for a while fixing elevators. Right?
Peace River District.
Peace River, yeah. That's in northern BC.
Yeah, because you actually have to go.
Man. That's a good trade.
Yeah. You actually have to go up north and go past Peace River.
Hello.
And then kind of circle back.
Hi, hello, Radioactive. Yeah, there are 25 people watching right now.
Wow.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, people are interested in northern Alberta and the Yukon and northern BC, clearly.
Yeah.
And the northern, let's see, we talked about hitchhiker forklifts. We talked about PEI mussels.
Yeah.
Talked about the Northern Lights. Now, you mentioned the sky, and you said you always your plan is to set up sort of a sky watching program. Now, would you do that where you are? Are you far north enough to really catch some cool stuff at night?
Well, my house sits on an eighth of a section, which actually, about a quarter section. I mean,
section's big. For those who don't know, a section
that's a square mile, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So a quarter section, and like the house, the grain bins, the barn, which actually, if some enterprising individual wanted to maybe make it into a grow op, you probably could. Although the corporations have already ruined.
There's no money in it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
a
lot of people thought they were going to make a lot of money and they went bankrupt. People that I'm acquaintanced with. I think that's a word, acquaintanced. Do you mind reading John's note here, please, about your comment about kitty litter?
Yeah, Jibborf. Yeah. I put kitty litter in the back of my car in winters for weight and traction if I get stuck. Good one. Although Erie, Pennsylvania doesn't have the winters we used to. Yeah, I bet.
No, we're warming up here too, and you know what? The biggest killer of deer where I am is the cold winters, the cold temperatures, and so the warmer winters, the deer population is really going to like that, and the animals in general. I think a lot. Surprising, I didn't know this, but a friend of mine. His brother is in conservation for the province, and he said the winter kill is like 75% of the deer that die are not from hunters, not from being hit on the road, but cold. So, I mean, I guess it's not like they have thumbs to light a fire. They can't do. Have you ever done the stick thing to light a fire, Rod?
You know what? I mean, I know how. I get the concept,
yes,
and I know how.
Me too, but I've never done it.
The biggest thing is you have to take a string bow, and then like a piece of wood, and then a stick, and then like
hardwood.
You take the bow.
For friction.
Yeah, you take the bow, you wrap it around the hardwood, and then you keep, and then there's probably already a hole recessed in there if I remember correctly.
Yep, and a little channel for the embers to fall down.
Yeah, and then you just run the bowstring along the
dowel.
along the dowel, and then it just like.
But you only wrap it once around the dowel, do you? Or once or twice around the dowel?
Once
around the dowel. Yeah. And the spindle. I guess they maybe call it a spindle. I don't know.
It would be a spindle. That's right. Yeah.
But it's supposed to be hardwood for friction. A lot of friction. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. When we meet up, let's do that live on camera. We'll make a video. Let's try it for the first time.
We will. Oh, absolutely.
I understand the theory, but I've never done it.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Hey, and here's another
Let's do
thing.
it.
Yeah, and something else, like because you're mentioning deer dropping in cold. Yeah, and here's something that
I hear you, fermented.
this would piss a lot of people off. I know it's going to,
Yeah, go
but
for it. No, we're all adults here. We don't always all have to have the same opinion here. We're adults.
well, the thing of it is it's really just a matter of insurance, i.e., money. So like when if you're driving down the road, my brother told me that he was that his boss told him that um, if you swerve into the ditch to avoid hitting Bambi, he said, no, don't do it.
No, no,
Bambi, the truckload comes first. And yeah,
it
no,
has
like
to. It
so
has
they
to.
tell you, yeah, so they tell you, nope, don't, I mean, I better have one, I better have a dead deer, you know, along with all the truck just so you can prove that that you hit it or you almost hit it.
Mhm.
Hail,
Yep.
Christopher Dominguez. Hey,
Christopher Dominguez, hello. Hello and welcome. Hi. We're
yeah,
just saying, okay. And so radioactive says a section is 640 acres. That sounds bigger than a square mile, but maybe, no, I'm not sure. But that's huge.
uh,
Well, I mean,
okay,
my parents lived on a quarter acre, so growing up, so 640 acres, yeah, maybe a square mile or a mile by a mile. Yeah, that could be.
no,
That's a hell of a
yeah,
big territory.
yeah,
That's a lot. That's a
yeah,
lot.
no, like I mean, like sadly, no, animals don't come first. To the trucker.
Well,
Yep.
okay, good point. Kivan 6, yes. Ferro rods, the Swedish steel, the sparking, yeah, they making a fire. I own four. Every backpack I have one in it. And I have one in my car. Absolutely. The ferro rods. It does make it redundant
Hmm.
unless your backpack is swept away from you in over a waterfall or some such thing. Say your canoe
Right.
goes over a 20-foot drop rod on a waterfall that's not marked on the map,
Oof.
and you lose
Yeah.
your backpack and you lose the ferro rod. Unless you have it jammed up your ass, you better know how to make fire with a spindle and a
Hmm.
or some. No, there's many. Some people use glass. I know people that carry a lens with them.
Right.
And I know there's chemicals you can pour together to make fire, but you know what? I'm never gonna regret learning a different way to make fire. I'm never gonna think that's a waste of time. If I know 10 ways to make fire, living in the wilderness here,
Yeah.
relative wilderness. I mean, I'm not in complete wilderness, but I spend time in the wilderness. I spend time where
Yeah.
if I don't, I could die if I don't know how to make fire. Really.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying if something happened, like if you get dumped in the water and it's winter,
Yeah.
or even if you break a leg and it's in the springtime, like you need fire. You need fire.
Yeah.
It's just the first thing. If you get lost in the woods and you're going to be there overnight, fire. You can do without
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of things, but unless it's like 30 degrees and it's a tropical jungle.
Yeah.
Which ideally, then you need rum. Then you need to know how to make rum.
Yeah.
But that is a good point, Keyban 6. Ferro rods, the Swedish steel with the sparking, scrape them with with the metal.
Cool.
Wow,
And I have
hey,
that.
West Kegel's here. Hello to you, sir.
Hey, West Kegel. How you
Good
doing,
to see
man?
you.
Yeah.
What about a moose? Those can do some real damage.
Yeah.
I saw one when I was I've only seen one moose up close, and I mean maybe 30 feet away, 10 meters. When I was hunting as a boy with my father, we were hunting partridge, and I had a 16 gauge shotgun, and I had one slug in my pocket, and the slug was for if I saw apparently like a dangerous animal or a moose for protection.
Yeah.
I didn't fire the slug at the moose because it was big. I don't think he would have just been annoyed. The slug wouldn't have done anything to him unless I put it in his ear. He was a big animal. I was 14 and he was towering, like massive. And I just stood behind a tree and I just looked at him and he looked at me and he decided I wasn't a threat. And I was in so much shock. I don't even think I was scared. I just was neutral. Like, whoa, that's a fucking moose. I've never seen one. But in New Brunswick, they're all over the place. But I've never seen one since. Never seen one since. I looked at him, he looked at me. He decided that wasn't a threat, and he trotted on. It's like, okay. But perfect shooting distance, but no way. No. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with a moose?
No, in all honesty,
I'm 16.
in all
I'm
honesty,
going to carry that out of the woods myself? I don't think so. Even with that.
Well, and in all honesty, most animals generally just don't look at you as a threat. They're just kind of like, oh shit! Oh, I gotta get out of here.
Not at 5'6", they don't. Maybe your size.
No.
Hi. Hello, everyone. You can technically make fire with a plastic or glass water bottle with partially filled water for a lensing effect if the sun is strong enough. I have seen that as well. Radioactive on YouTube.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, or like on Lord of the Flies. Glasses.
Yep. Ooh, Piggy. Yep, Piggy. Yeah, Piggy's Glasses. That was such a good book and a good movie too.
Yeah, shockingly good movie. Which
it was. Lord of the Flies. I hope they're still showing that in school. I hope so too. And the classics like Shakespeare. I really hope they are. I don't know what they're teaching them. They're probably teaching them which bathroom to use or something. I don't know.
I still find it funny. I still find it interesting that the kids, as soon as adults arrive on the island at the very end, again immediately the kids just revert back to just crying for their parents and wishing that they were home and all that. It was just such a marked wow,
I've been on winter camping trips where I've been crying for my mom and wanting to go home. I gotta, as an adult, it's been cold and wet and I'm at a beer and the fire went out.
Yeah.
Do you mind, Rod? Do you mind reading this for our friend Fermented Cinema?
Surely. Fermented Cinema says, my parents lure in the caribou on Christmas Day just down the street on the 24. There are some guys in a Civic that hit a moose, just its head. The moose was dead, but so was the car. Ouch. Ugh.
A Honda Civic hit just the head? It doesn't matter. The moose's head is, it's going to damage a Honda Civic. Darn.
Well, there's actually gotten to be a lot of deer in my area now.
So the caribou is in British Columbia. If that is a caribou you're speaking of, it is in British Columbia, southern British Columbia.
Yeah.
Beautiful area.
One of the things I do, I don't know about you, but as soon as I see a deer, as soon as you see one, slow the fuck down, and then look around because there's got to be at least.
They're never alone. They're never alone.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got a video of 40 of them that I should put up on. Oh, I think I did put it up. I did put it up. It's on my video channel or my YouTube channel.
I do have a few pictures.
You can see. But once you're out of beer, we all want to go home. That is often the case. Excuse me.
Yeah, but
nope.
When you're driving down the road and you see a deer, the number one thing to do, lay on your horn. Lay on your car horn.
Yep, that's right. Scare them with the sound if you can, and shake their
Yeah.
All right.
So,
and Keyvan6 says, I wish I could find my poster from the 90s from a comic book artist I received at a convention. It was a really big moose with a flannel shirt and wearing a lumberjack on his back, holding a hockey stick and flag. Yeah, that's awesome.
I think I've seen that.
It does ring a bell, doesn't it?
Yeah.
does ring a bell. And you know what? Christopher Dominguez says, I've read The Lord of the Flies during my sophomore year of high school. Okay. And Christopher Dominguez that's refreshing because I know he's a younger fella, I believe. And that is good to hear. That's awesome. Such a good book. I'm glad other schools have been teaching that in the past. That's awesome.
Yeah.
CSM is, hey, Eugene Bird. CSM is an indie fan. Indiana Jones. Damn right. All three movies. I love all three Indiana Jones movies.
And you want to know something? I don't care what anybody else says. There's still seeds of a good movie in Crystal Skull.
Yeah, if you cut out the part with the aliens, I would agree.
And the monkeys.
Oh, I forgot. I blocked that out. That was traumatic. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what though? Like, man, it had a great ending. He got married. He got married to the love of his life. Now he's having now he's has a newfound son.
What?
And
no, that's what. No, Indiana Jones doesn't get married. He goes on adventures all his life until he dies. That's a world.
Yeah,
I
but
disagree.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, you're the romantic.
Right.
See, you're writing the romance novel. You're a published romance novelist. That makes sense.
That's
of course, you're the romantic.
That's just it. I mean, like, and like, I don't know if you ever saw, but who was the
See Through
robot
Love,
head?
folks. The title of Rod's book that he wrote himself and published is See Through Love. And he's a romance novelist. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding, folks. He's a full-on actual romance novelist. So he's the romantic. But Indiana Jones, to me, and to each their own. To each their own. You're entitled to your own opinion.
Oh, damn it!
But Indy should never get married. He's no. And same with Bruce Willis. Die Hard. No. These guys are action
man.
heroes.
I'm sorry. I just now saw the chat.
Oh, it's right here.
The private chat.
Oh, yeah, that ship has sailed.
Damn.
I don't. Yeah, Tiger Stripes is long gone, but that's all right. Tiger Stripes, Tiger Stripes, we love you. And,
sorry, Gal. We would have. I probably would have said yes because nice to have a third place.
Well, maybe she'll be back. We'll stream with her another time.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Bud, you are the romance novels. So possibly that's why you think it's a happy ending for Indy to get married, and you're entitled. Absolutely. I just don't see it that way. That's
what I mean. I see it as a reward for all his hard work and everything. And then, like, let's face it, he would, as a scholared author, I guarantee he probably would write some books. And then, of course, then he'd tour and then, plug his books, And so, and then, again, married to the love of his life, and here's the other thing too, because when you really look at the first movie, it does get a little bit icky territory. Like, remember, I was young, I was in love, and you knew it.
Yes, Eugene Bird. Yes, all three. That's it.
Yeah.
What now? What do you think about here? Oh, do you mind reading? Yeah, here. Do you mind reading Fermented Zone and saying what your opinion is? Yeah,
Crystal Skull had some good sequences, and the first act was going somewhere, but then way too many flaws. Oh yeah, especially like nuke the fridge.
Okay. Now, did Crystal Skull? I mean, part of Indiana Jones films is international travel. I mean, it's set all over the world, right? International archaeological digs everywhere.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull, did they travel all over? I don't remember them traveling like going all over the world as much, but I could be wrong.
They went to a few places. It wasn't huge, but but then it was when he went down to the Incas, like down to the South Africa. That's where it was. That's where it kind of started to pick up.
South Africa, South America,
or South America. Duh.
They're different.
Yeah, way different.
Slightly. Oh my God! How'd we end up here? Wrong place. I meant to put South America. I put South Africa in the transporter. That would be a huge transporter mix-up. We meant to go to South America. We end up in South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. And now Christopher Dominguez says, I prefer The Last Crusade ending the series, at least with Crystal Skull. In Rod's defense, the story has a bit of closure to Indy's story. Okay, so he's on side with you. Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, Robot Head actually came up with a far better story for Indy 5, and that was the show would start off and like obviously it'd be a little bit of comedy because he's an old guy and like he's learning to deal with living in living in the suburbs, and like get off my lawn, kind of thing, mowing grass. Maybe he's got a grumpy neighbor to deal with, and then all of a sudden Mutt turns up. And he's because Mutt has taken over, like Indy's thing of like exploring and exploring different places and all that, but his mentor is missing, and then Indy has to go with him, and then probably even Marion, and then because Mutt's missing mentor is Short Round. How cool would that be? And like and then like Robot Head also. Yeah, and then Robot Head also made a good point. He's like, by the way, I'm not completely locked down on Short Round being missing. Indy and Short Round looking for Mutt would be a lot cooler.
I think, yeah. Now, and do you mind reading West Cagel's comment?
Yep. I didn't have a problem.
He's
with
not
Crystal
wrong.
Skull. West Kegel said, I didn't have a problem with Crystal Skull. It's Citizen Kane compared to the Dial of Dysentery. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I like the one Midnight's Edge came up with, the Diaper of Destiny.
I don't think I saw that. That sounds funny. And here's the address to Rod's book. Right there. See Through Love.
Thanks, folks.
You are a romantic, sir, for sure. Oh yeah, we read that already. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what's funny?
1,000% West Kegel. Okay. John agrees.
Yeah, I'm a romantic man, but still, like you, I mean, we both agree though on marriage,
Which what is, do we agree on marriage? That Indy should never get married? I don't think we agree on that.
No, I mean marriage in general, not Indy, just people, just guys in general, because
it's a horrible idea.
The deck's stacked against them.
You know what? If it didn't involve doing a contract with the government, perfect. Like if you were to get married in many countries, marriage is between the man and the woman and possibly the church and possibly the community, but certainly not the government. I saw in India, I was staying at a hostel, and it had a rooftop sort of area where you could go up and watch the little town. I think it was in Jodhpur, how do you pronounce it, in Rajasthan. Yeah. And I saw this music and procession, this parade started coming through the town. I didn't know what it was until I saw this guy all dressed in white, and he was on a white horse, and he was I knew the groom. The groom always rides a white horse in India, and is all dressed in white, and it's a parade through the town. They were having a wedding. That was amazing. That was incredible. That was beautiful. Yeah, I think I filmed that. I might have filmed that. I'll have to look for that video. And it was just out of the blue. It was out of the blue. But yeah, guy on a white horse.
That's funny, because when you were describing, suddenly like you kind of got ambushed by just a parade or whatever. Kind of reminded me of Live and Let Die. With the 005, he's on the street reading a newspaper, and then all of a sudden, like this yeah, this procession, this funeral comes down the street, and then all of a sudden somebody sneaks up behind him, and then I think he knifes him or just and then all of a sudden he drops to the street, and all of a sudden they put the coffin on him, and then
Mm-hmm.
somehow the coffin magically picks him up, and then all of a sudden everybody breaks out into celebration.
That's right. Yeah, it was a setup all along. Ooh.
Yeah.
The exploration of the Incan civilization in Peru is the most interesting part of the film. In Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull. I love Peru. I loved Peru. Yeah, very cool. I love archaeology and yeah. Ooh, Fermented Cinema says, I'm glad you guys caught that geographic mistake on the travel blog. South Africa as to compared to South America, very different.
Yeah. Did you see Transformers: Rise of the Machines?
Possibly. But see, the Transformers movies, and now I sound like an old man telling people to get off my lawn, but that they're too, I don't know what's happening. It's too fast. It's cut. You're close in. You can't, I want to see a battle scene in full.
Well,
like
see,
from a little bit of a distance and not all
they
these
fixed
quick.
that. They
Did
fixed
they?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, because when it got to, when it got to
Michael Bay.
the Michael Bay. Well, it's still Michael Bay, but he's just producing. He's not actually directing anything. But when it got to like the Last Night and Transformers Extinction, both of those, man, they just totally they totally garbaged what they had for the Transformers transforming. I mean, because you look at the very first one, I love that.
Orville Nation, hello. Hey, PJ. Hey, PJ.
Hey, Orville Nation.
Hey.
Yeah. How you doing,
welcome. Man, we've been talking about Aurora Borealis, forklifts, the Yukon, Northern Alberta,
yeah,
PEI, Cambodia. Welcome.
Yeah. What was I saying now?
I totally cut you off. I'm sorry, Rod. I apologize.
No.
I just wanted to say hi to PJ before we lost.
Yeah, no. Oh, Transformers. Yeah.
Transformers. Yes.
No, because Rise of the Machines.
Something.
Yeah. Well, no. See, Rise of the Machines takes place in Peru.
Ooh.
So there, and yeah, you actually see the Machu Picchu.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it might be worth a watch for you, man. Also, this is the movie that they kind of corrected it a little. I mean, first of all, Bumblebee really corrected it, and then Rise of the Machines.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. Rise of the Machines brings in classic Optimus.
Excellent.
And and they did kind of slow the transformations down a little so that it's not just kind of, and then they just transform into a bunch of dots.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you mind reading this comment?
Oh, absolutely. Fermented Cinema said they missed the greatest opportunity ever to have not having Short Round come back. But then again, he couldn't have been a Kathleen Kennedy stand-in. Yes, absolutely. And like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if George.
Agreed.
George intentionally screwed himself or what. But man,
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. And Fermented Cinema says West Kegel. Yep, it could have been accurate to the series. Covered fan service and ticked their boxes for diversity all naturally. But nope, it went the awful way. They could have done well, but they would have required talent. That's not easy to do. Fermented Cinema. It would have required talent. and do you mind reading this, Rod Thunderheart?
Yeah. Christopher Dominguez said, "To be fair, if it weren't for the Crystal Skull, weren't for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull releasing in theaters back in 2008, I wouldn't have watched the original 3 films. They were my first entry into the series." Yeah.
How does he know that he wouldn't have watched the original 3? How do you know that you wouldn't have? Hopefully someone with taste would have told you, hey, there's these 3 films starring this guy, starring this guy, that you should go see. But yeah, fair enough. If it introduces new fans,
Yeah.
Ooh, hey, Susan Dolan.
Susan Dolan's Canadian Spider-Man, Rod Thunderheart. There's a YouTube channel called Primitive Technology. I don't know what country it's in, but the guy made a furnace to smelt metal out of mud. Wow, mud and termite mound. Huh.
Yes, I knew that some tribal cultures around the world use the mud from termite mounds because it has some whatever secretion comes from termites as a glue, and it is a resource. It's an interesting material. Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool indeed. And oh, well, that's interesting. Fermented Cinema says, well, she both loves and lives for her self-insertions. That would be Kathleen Kennedy, perhaps. And hey, Orville Mason, good to see you. Good to see you. And yeah, Wes Cagle agrees. Yep, KK loves self-insertion characters, or at least self-insertion of how she perceives herself. Yeah, perhaps. That's probably true. Oh, long phone call. William Shakespeare is now joining us in progress. Yeah, and we have a lot of new people in the chat, so welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 2 hours now, Rod.
Yeah.
That is cool. So we've talked about all kinds of interesting cultural things.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know what I want to say. In Peru, I saw termite mounds in Australia, notably that I remember that stick out, Australia and Peru. Yeah. And both of those places, the native peoples, the Aboriginals or the people native there, the tribes used termites. They used termites for a source of food, but also they used them to hollow out wooden tools, like didgeridoos, for example.
Yeah.
Are a proper didgeridoo is eaten out by termites.
Huh.
And they use the mud from termite mounds for all kinds of things. Yeah, it's quite an interesting thing, because it's not just mud; it contains the secretions from the termites. No.
Hey, when I sort of brought up clouds and like chemtrails.
I didn't see that, Susan.
Mm.
Oh, it did duplicate itself. You're right, Susan. Sorry, Rod. Yeah, you did about an hour and a half ago. You brought out the chemtrail.
Yeah, like when in Cuba. Yep. I'll send you this video. Holy crap! It's called "Glitches in the Matrix," and the channel is called All Time Scary. And yeah, I highly recommend any of you check it out too. It's 43 minutes long, kind of lengthy, but oh my god, I'm only 4 minutes into it, but it's got really weird shit and like just strange shit that happens. Like,
what's the title
suddenly
again?
People just walking in. I mean, they show golfers walking as if they were just literally perfectly, it's got strange clouds. It's got a cloud with a square hole in it, and then a cube cloud. There's just so many.
How does that happen?
That's just it, and like, and then it's got like somehow like the earth just suddenly opened up, and like this cop car wasn't completely swallowed, but like kind of fell into the earth.
What's the name of this Rod that you're watching?
It's called Glitches in the Matrix.
Cool.
Complete edition. Like I said, I'll send. I can't do it right now. Yeah, but I'll send it to you on YouTube. Maybe I'll even or YouTube. Maybe I'll even post it on Twitter X. I call it that. I don't care what anybody else.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I still call it Twitter as well.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But I just realized too, and I posted this on Facebook, and I look back and I really wish I'd have saved the photograph. I'll tell you something. I I was on the west end of Edmonton, and then like I was going in, me and my buddy were going into Walmart, and then suddenly or my brother Don, I mean, yeah, my brother Don. And then like suddenly we looked up at the sky and there was just this weird cloud formation. And like I I immediately grabbed my phone and like took a few pictures. And like it it was indescribable. It looked like it might have been a cloaked UFO or test spacecraft or something. And like and the other thing too, by the way, was that nobody but me and my brother saw it. You know, it just blew my mind. What the flip was that?
Wow.
And but like, yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely see
I
stuff like
love
that.
looking at weather phenomena. Have another drink of cider, Steve. Jeez.
Yeah.
No, I love that. The sky weather is fascinating. Absolutely. I tell you, Rod, I've been in typhoons in Tokyo and in Osaka. There's strong winds, a lot of rain. Honestly, Canada, I've had similar strength storms in Canada. I was in the Caribbean once, and a hurricane swept through on a Carnival cruise line, and we had to do our itinerary in reverse order just to avoid the path of the hurricane. That was cool. But the big cruise boats have giant stabilizers. The big cruise boats have stabilizers.
Yeah.
Basically pontoons or outriggers that are underwater.
Yeah.
Buoyancy sort of pontoons that are underwater, and they float there and they help stabilize the thing. And that was kind of cool. It was still very rocky. Rocking back and forth. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Been in some wicked storms. Never been in a tornado though. I don't want to be. Do you mind reading Christopher Dominguez's very valid point?
Yeah. At the time of Crystal Skull being in the theaters, USA Network and Sci-Fi Channel, we're showing the original 3 Indiana Jones films. It would have passed by me unnoticed were it not for the 4th film.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Right. Very nice.
Yeah. Ooh. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Hoping one of those glitches in the Matrix hit my bank account. Yeah. Oh, me especially.
Does that happen? Does that happen? No. Somehow, Fermented Cinema, I think they would make you pay it back.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, you know. Hey, yeah, I actually still have my box set of the original Indiana Jones trilogy and a box set of Star Wars 97. Before 97.
Well, so when it shows at the end of Return of the Jedi with the Force ghosts at the end, it's Yoda. Is it Hayden Christensen or the original?
Sebastian Shaw, I think it is, or I think his name is Sebastian Stan.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, the original Anakin. You know, and Anakin with like all of his ghost arms.
Excellent, good. That's wicked. That's physical media. Yeah. Ooh. Do you mind reading Fermented Cinemas?
Yeah.
Chat.
In Kagawa, Japan, we are sheltered from the typhoons because of the mountains. Yeah, okay. Oh, like in Super Dodgeball.
Yeah, Kagawa. Yeah.
The last big typhoon to hit nearby was windy, but was a windy but sunny day at my house.
Weird. Yeah, that's in southern Kagawa. Very cool. Yeah, no, I don't want to be involved in that. But you know what, Rod? We're approaching 2 hours now.
Yep. I was just thinking that. In my mind.
Yeah, I'm thinking this has been a fantastic conversation with you, sir. We've covered all across
I totally
the planet. We've gone we've covered a lot of different topics, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Ooh, now we can round out the 2 hour mark by
perfect.
A couple of last Couple of last. Ooh,
Like I said, I'll go to the I'll go to YouTube and
excellent.
then get that glitches in the Matrix, because it's got really weird shit that you just see like in just everyday stuff, and like somebody just happened to capture it on film.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So William Shakespeare, and hello, and thanks for rejoining us. William Shakespeare says, guys, you can obtain the theatrical edition of Star Wars original trilogy in 720p, all identical to the way we saw them in the theaters. Look up Harmony's Despecialized.
Oh, yeah,
Friggin'
I've heard of those.
That's the Hermes.
Yeah.
Hermes Despecialized. Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm doing that right now. Okay, I got to go order me some Star Wars.
All right. Yep. All right. See y'all.
Or send him a case of beer. Thanks for being here, everyone. Yeah.
Thanks, man. That's really good.
Thanks for doing this, Rod. All right. Good
No,
night.
no. Thank you, man. It was fun, and like we need to do more of this.
We do. Well, hey, Monday nights seem to work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Good night, everybody.
4 hours.
Thanks for being here.
4 hours till I get up and run.
Oh crap.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I think I'll probably run around noon or something like that.
I'll come. Well, no, I'm going to come back and probably go straight back to bed. So, because it's a
okay.
shitty day, and it's a shitty day, and really, I'm just going to do a bunch of applying online. So.
Oh, okay. But hey, good luck. I've got a shit ton of firewood to chop. Plus, I think I have to change out the wheel bearings on my on my front wheel drive car. I think the wheel bearings are high speed corners, probably. Are the cause of that. My own. Well, Yeah. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. Thanks,
all right, guys.
Good night, William.
Good night, guys.
Thanks for wrenching, John and William and all the other wrenches.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, William Shakespeare.
Much
All right.
appreciated.
Good
guys.
night. Good night, Rod.
See you later, man.